Writing stories can be really fun, but it can also be tricky sometimes actually starting your story.
Yeah, it can be really hard.
Now, of course, Ben and I make stories up about pigeons all the time, so we're very familiar with feathers. And feathers actually are a great example of how you can take an everyday item from your house or school or out in the yard, like a feather, and use this feather as inspiration to start a story.
That's a nice looking feather.
Thank you. Now, there are a few different ways that you can start a story using a feather. And the first thing you could do is you could turn this feather into a character.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, Ben, is I'm just going to put some little eyes on this feather here.
Oh, that's really cute. Hello, little feather. Hello, feather. How are you? How are you today, Mr. Feather?
I'm pretty good. I'm a feather and I like to fly around tickling people. Tickle, 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 tickle,
Oh, really?
tickle, 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 tickle. I want to tickle some armpits. Oh, they're my favorite things to tickle.
Not my armpits.
Okay, so suddenly I added eyes to this, Ben, and we just had a character, and I think we could sit down and write a story about that character now if we wanted to. So that's one way that you can start a story using a feather. But there are other ways to do it as well.
That's right. Another way to get a story going is to use feathers. Put feathers on something that normally wouldn't have feathers on them. So, Andrew, I'm going to draw a picture. What object should I create?
Okay, let's choose another everyday object. What about a remote control?
A TV remote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's here's the TV remote. It's going to have lots of buttons, but it's going to have some cute little eyes on it too. Like this. There's his eyes, but they're just buttons. There's his little buttons. And then we need a few more like this. Okay, and now I need to add the feathers. So maybe he's going to have some big, beautiful wings like this. Oh, and I know. And she flies around. Zapping people with her remote control power. So she's got zaps coming out here like this. So she can make people, she can pause people, she can rewind people's movements. Like,
That sounds so cool.
yeah.
To be honest, Ben, I'd be most excited about just being able to like call out to my remote control whenever I can't find her and just have her fly into my hand.
Yay. She should have a name.
Oh yeah.
I know, Buttons. There she is.
Buttons, the remote control that can fly.
What a great idea for a story.
Now there's another way, Ben, that we can use a feather to get a story started, and that is we could use a feather as a plot device. We could use it as something that starts the story going itself by nature of its very introduction.
So as a plot device, it can be something that everybody wants. It could be a magic feather that everybody wants. So if they're holding it, maybe it can make them fly. What else can we do, Andrew?
Oh, what about if you started a story where everyone's phones suddenly disappeared and were replaced with feathers? What would happen?
Oh, that would be so funny because when you answer your phone, it would tickle your ear. How about I've got an idea. Maybe a wizard has turned all the knights in a kingdom, all their swords, into feathers. So I'm going to draw a knight with a feather sword. So here's the knight. He's a happy knight. He's got some armour on. Here he is. He's going, hello! And then instead of a sword, he's got a huge feather. And it's nice and curly like frillbacks.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. And he's running along with his feather, ready to tickle someone.
Oh, I love that. So if there were suddenly no swords in the kingdom, then they'd just be having feather fights all the time. And they'd be jousting with feathers, Ben. So they'd be running along on their horses and jousting with feathers. And maybe the person that gets the biggest tickle in is the winner.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
See if you can start a story by choosing a feather and turning it into a character, giving it to an object that already exists, or using it as a plot device, using it as a way to start something happening in a world or to a character.
Yeah.
Good luck with your feather stories.
Good luck!